Hey, hey, hey! Happy Monday to everybody. How are you? Hope you had a good weekend. Who's here? Who's here? Eric is here. Welcome in, Eric. How you doing today? And Saf, hello. Greetings from sun-drenched Maryland. Oh, man. Man, Lab West, thank you so much. 13 months in a row. Boom. Thank you, kind sir. I hope you're doing well. Nate the Sound Ninja. Thank you, brother. 16 months, dude. Howdy. How are you guys? A hype train is close, it says. All right, so where was I? Hello, Eric and Saf. Greeting from sun-drenched Maryland. It is cold and wet and drenched in sogginess here in Portland. Dark gray today. Bunch. Salutations. Good morning, Blackberry. How are you? Nate, it's good to have you with us so early, too. Kakashi, welcome in. Welcome back. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a good weekend. Ah, look at that. Saf is working on his portfolio this morning. Very good to hear. And Dremy is here. Welcome in, brother. Nice, Nate. It's good to refocus every once in a while on the website, give it a quick update, and move back into business. Just reading this LT3 train thread here. Yeah, the gazelle is just great, isn't it, Eric? Man, so good. What a great way to start the day. Cody Modi, welcome in, dude. Hope you're doing well. Risky business there, Paul. Gathered your ex, your former roomie, and your girlfriend all in the same room. How did that go? Oh, nice, Nate. Doing a little update to the synthwave thing. Very nice. Paul now has in his possession count them, three secret stubs stuffed squirrels. What is going to happen with these stuffed squirrels, may I ask? Common hatred of me bonds them strongly. Oh, know thyself, right? And then have fun. Yeah. All right, I figured we could distract ourselves with some fun sound effects and stuff this morning. So let's do that. Let's do that. Oh man. Yeah, that's an uncomfortable position if they all start like critiquing your moves and your game, as Blackberry puts it. Yeah. It could turn into quite the situation. All right, let's close this thing down. I don't think I need to save any of that. And let's get something new going, maybe. And I will probably want to start with a synth, I would imagine. Before I do that, we left a couple of people hanging on Friday in regards to feedback. So first I'm just going to scroll and see what you guys were talking about this weekend. Building blocks, music theory and composition course for DAW musicians. Kwame, I have not seen this yet. I can click through to it later and check it out, though. Hmm. Yeah, it can be really tough to learn through text. I'm just reading through this thread really quick here on the Discord that Kwame started about learning music specifically, like theory and stuff. Thank you for the host, Nate. Um, yeah, how does everybody out there best learn? I personally, I really like the over the shoulder thing if I'm trying to learn something that someone else is doing, so I can kind of like quietly observe. Um, like the ideal is to have the opportunity to ask questions, right? That would be best. So we can get the hows and the whys out there. Hey, it's Heidi. We have a Purple Prose sighting, you all. Good luck out there, Heidi. Um, all right, so I'm just going to click in here and see if any of these folks are in here. We left off with, I think it was Dom Poon that we listened to last. So we've still got one from Zamertz. We've got a Lily Cat Music. We've got an Uncle Chrome in here, a Thrash Box, Rose, and Lucy. And I'm happy to click into any of these for those who are here today. Or we can also just punt these to the next feedback stream. So for those that have tracks in the feedback queue currently, you just let me know how you want that handled. And in the meantime, good luck, Heidi. You're going to be here Wednesday? Hmm? All my theory was learned on the cold, hard streets, says Paul. Yeah, right? Man, I feel like it's too easy to blow off when you're young, when you're like interested in so many other things. And that's when it's most accessible to us, right? As with most languages. Gathering up your harem on the mean streets with the song. This is quickly going to turn into like a West Side Story moment or something. All right, Heidi, you be good. Be safe out there. Texting from a bus stop in Victoria. This is also mysterious. When you're a fat all the way. All right, so you're a fat till the end, and that's it. And that's how the whole show ends. Hey, Samaritz is here. I was just talking about you. You still have something in the review queue. I was giving people the opportunity to listen to those today or to punt them to the next feedback stream or what. So, how are you today, Samaritz? Like a quarter in Winslow, Arizona. Oh, bye, Heidi. Easy like Monday, right? Easy like a Monday morning. Let's see. How about we haven't looked at the beautiful face of Absinthe in a little while. We could do that. Maybe we will do that. Yeah, why not? Let's do a little Absinthe today. See what we can cook up. All right, how about we load up a sample into this first slot here and just do a granular on this. And I'm just going to pull one of my drones in here. Mango fiber between the teeth. Do you guys have like nicknames for foods that you, for whatever reason, hold on to? Like not necessarily childhood nicknames, but like nicknames that you gave things with friends in high school or whatever. I like the very first time I tried a mango, I remember saying something like, it's like a jungle peach. And ever since then, like it runs through my mind whenever I eat mangoes. This is a good jungle peach. Mayberry LSD. All right, let's take the spellcasters. And let's turn this up just a little bit for you. And let's see if we are in tune here. Yes, we are. Keep track of what we're doing over here. Make this a little bigger for you. All right, let's make this thing wiggle a little bit. Yeah, I like that. All right, let's make this stereo. Maybe we'll give it a little bit of slow undulation with a little little ring mod. And we're just going to bring this back to like maybe 75%. Cool. So now we got the somewhat randomish kind of pulsing thing happening here. And maybe a little frequency shifter. Hey, hey, hold on a second. Damn it. Oh, Streamlabs. Okay. Sound again. Sorry, you guys. All right, so what we started out with was, because I have no idea when Streamlabs dropped the audio on you guys, what we started out with was something very simple here. Which one did I choose? Spellcaster. All right, so just so we're all fully informed here, this is what we started with here. Just one of my super simple drones from the dark pack, and we're turning it into some granular atmosphere here. So I'm just going to put this through some effects here. Maybe the aetherizer? Or maybe just a pipe. Let's try the pipe. What's the worst that could happen? Let's give some more feedback. Kick up the size a bit. Hey, trailer! Yeah, this sounds nice here. Let's cut down our feedback, which is what controls our decay, most likely. Or mostly, I mean. Yeah, I dig that. And we're really low on LUFS. That's great. All right, let's record this. This is supposed to be 140, I think. So let's just record this for a bit. All right, let's run this good 16 bars or so. See what that sounds like here. All right, so 29 LUFS. Let's go ahead and bounce this, or print it rather. So this will just be like a grainy Atmos for now. Ooh, Pigments 3.5 is out. Hey. Wow. That's happened very quickly, hasn't it? My precious, wait a minute. Paul, what is my precious? Ramun and Sacred Curry, huh? Kabucha. Nice stuff. All right, so we've got this nice little Atmos. Let's save this. Let's just save this really quick. We're going to add in, let's see here. We'll call this, can't remember if cinematic textures is mine or not. We'll call this pad soundscape. Deep, bright, airy, synthetic, granular, processed, slow, long, me. Let's just call this Atmos for now. And we'll just start up our own new little pack here. Okay, so we'll call this Grainy Atmos. And the reason why I just did that is so we can go back into our browser here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click into some other sounds that I've made. Very minimal as well. Textures and atmospheres type stuff. I'm going to start mutating kind of back and forth between them and see where we end up going. All right, first we'll go toward a sound in the after pack, the sounds from the apocalypse pack. I'm going to keep it really, really low on random for now. And just mutate slightly and see what this sounds like. Sounds very much the same, really. Up high, maybe. Let's just move this up a couple of octaves. And we'll print this again. Call this grainy too. Cool, okay. And let's just go back in here and do this again. Find a decent one. Maybe towards this flute and just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's actually try just a little bit more. Actually, that sounds pretty nice right there. So this is down 3. Let's do that really quick. So we're going to print that. All right, back up here and do it again. Go towards this desolation sound and mutate just a bit more this time. Hey, that's nice right there. I think it's a little too back and forth for me, though. I'll do a slight mutation on this one. Okay, I'm going to go into our mutation history here and back up a few steps. Okay, let's try this again. Mutation. Hey, that's kind of nice. It's very quiet. It's better. I like this. Okay, so where are we here? Oh, that's exactly the note that I'm on. Perfect. Gonna print this. But this is like a rhythmic. Hey, wait, hold on a second. Pigment 3.5 features cross modulation. Cross modulation. Should we look this up really quick? I'm not clear on the context here. Cross mod. Ability to cross modulate between the sound engines. Okay, okay, okay. Very cool. Let's see what they say themselves in their little update log here. New distortion algorithms, new comb filter modes. Oh, that's nice. New wavetables and new sound banks, huh? Comb filter modes. 3 new comb filter modes. Low pass, band pass, and high pass. New distortion algorithm. 13 new distortion algorithms. Huh, cool. Okay. Okay, and the overdrive and wave folder effect algorithms are now part of the distortion dropdown. There are 3 new individual sound banks as well. Base thermal trap chemical and EDM kinetic, and there are 59 new wave tables in the 3.5 folder after you update. And the cross modulation engine thingy. Engines 1 and 2 can be crossed over. And you can use them as a modulation source. So that's cool. That's nice that you can use them as a modulation source now as well. Very cool. Nice. I'm glad to see that they're continuing to move this in a cool direction. If it sucks scum from the bottom of the ocean, I love it. That's nature there for you, making the stuff that eats all the scum of the world taste really good, right? Not a fan of crawfish, but you'll eat them anyway, just to do your part. Yeah, you got to keep out the invasive species. Hey, Kwame. How are you, dude? We were looking at your thread that you started on the Discord earlier and kind of posing the question of how do people best learn? How does everyone here best learn? It's kind of a loaded question, but it's nice to get to know like the different modes that people operate in when learning. Well, that's definitely not going to work. So let's try that again. Yeah, I feel like we're going off the deep end here. Although that's kind of cool. So before I move on, maybe I'll print this one. Maybe we'll come up with something cool from it. Ooh, down 1 octave, you get some even weirder stuff. Let's try that. Let's go ahead and print that. Alright, so this has got to be a grainy oddity, maybe? I think it's probably going to go for freaking ever. Alright, let's get into our after pack again. Maybe some tension. Not a fan. Let's get back to our original sound. Maybe we'll start easing back into some randomization here. It's a nice sound. Look at that wave. Let's go down a bit. God, that's a gorgeous wave. That's wild. That would have to be a really long one, maybe a 32 bar. Let's see what it sounds like down another octave. That's the one right there, huh? All right, it's pushing on us quite a bit. It's actually where we are too. This is going to be printed really quick. We'll call this grainy bass, maybe. What is this? This is A4 here. A5. Let's bring this up. Oh shoot, did I just... Dang, I did. I just accidentally mutated again. It's good though. This one would actually go quite well with the dark vocal choir type thingy that we're building currently. Let's just go check that really quick. That would have been in the dark arts. Okay, yeah, this would work. This would work. All right, let's check that against this really quick. Yeah, that would totally work. Okay, let's bring this back. Print this. Oops. Print this. Grainy choir. Kwame, it is kind of like playing a sport a bit. It's kind of the cross between like playing a sport and learning a language, right? Because you've got like all of this muscle memory, you've got all of this new vocabulary being introduced, right? And then on top of that, you've got all of the translation stuff too, right? Like conjugating verbs is kind of like figuring out how to move from one mode to another, or key to another or something, right? And then you've got just the multitudes of ways in which people talk about these things. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's nice to be able to find a system that like kind of guides you through the whole process using one language. The curriculum that I've developed over the years kind of forces you to think about your sounds in relation to everyday common things in our vernacular, like color, texture, taste, temperature, that type of thing, size, movement, motion, and then it forces you to kind of correlate certain words to certain things, right? And the more you do it, the more fluid it all becomes, and the more you're able to wield things just like you would the English language, right? But it's just about creating new neural pathways, right? If you go way back to the beginning, and I'm talking like the beginning of your life, right? Like how you're starting to correlate things to thoughts, emotions, functions, all of that kind of stuff. It's highly dependent upon what is being shown to you, right? And you slowly but surely correlate the word circle to the shape circle, but in the process, you're also correlating a whole bunch of other things, right? Like round, right? And circular or cycle or all of these other things, right? And they're all kind of being correlated over time. And you've already spent the time doing all of that mapping. So now we just kind of hack that system and we slip sound in there. And the more you start to have conversations and thoughts around sound through this common vernacular, the easier it becomes to have these conversations with yourself and other people. And then the parallel track of learning to that is just staying very focused on the absolute basics of what sound and music actually are, and not getting all of the minutia involved early on. So you're always capable of breaking it down to those most common components using language, right? And correlated like thoughts and emotions and stuff to help keep you there. Because otherwise, it feels too technical for a lot of people, especially later in life. Like when you're trying to do this in adulthood, it's different than when you're trying to do it in the youth years, right? So yeah, I find that when you start to kind of push this stuff back up into the system that you've already developed for yourself, like society already fully supports, it makes it so much easier, so much easier. Yeah, I would say Paul's right about this. He says, in my humble opinion, it's very difficult to really learn to learn. That is a gain mastery, not just familiarity of a new field, skill, etc. And yeah, learning a subject to teach it is another thing too. And there's also the type of learning that comes through teaching, right? Because it forces you to use different types of analogies and arrive at the same outcomes through different channels and means. And in the long run, what it's doing is it's reinforcing as well as introducing you to new ways of thinking about this. And it really opens up the scope of everything, right? Because it really reinforces this concept of you can arrive at the same thing in a variety of different ways, right? Which helps you teach a lot of different types of people in a lot of different types of situations. But what you're really doing for yourself, of course, is becoming a true master of all those things because you can think around all the corners and all the directions from all these different perspectives. So absolutely. And I agree with BlackBerry. It's good to try something new every single day. Trailer's asking, oh, my question about the analyzer. When it is making these clearer patterns, does that mean it's making a nicer sound or does it not make a difference? That's a good question. So this is When you see a perfect circle, that's a sine wave. Because that's what a sine wave is a perfect circle if you're operating in stereo. So you're going to see this thing. So when you look at a waveform, right, the sine wave goes like this. If you collapse that on itself, it's a perfect circle. So a diamond is a triangle wave, right? And the more you get to know those shapes, the more you're seeing. It's not that the sounds are better. It's that they're closer to the mother waveform, if you will. And with that type of clarity can come an easier delivery of sound. It all started when I was born. Buckle up, kids. It's going to be a long ride. And Dremia says, I've always listened to sound and music rather than hearing the vocals. Same. I actually don't know vocals to any songs. I do know a lot, but I'm right there with you. I absolutely pay attention to the sounds and the music first. Sometimes I never actually tune into the lyrics of certain songs. Yeah. Nate, you have a great day, dude. Big love. So, more so the arrangement, says Kasha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's exactly what I taught Paul. Just the concept, the Fourier theory basically says everything can be reduced down to the fundamental. The inverse of that is additive synthesis. Everything can be made out of just the fundamental by stacking sine waves and affecting the phase of those sine waves, and the amplitude of those sine waves can arrive at any other type of sound, which is true. Like it's a thing that you can test yourself. But the more you're doing that, right, the reducing and the expanding of all of these things, it's teaching you the entire time, and you're gaining a full grasp of what's actually happening with your audio. And the reason why that becomes important is because you can then arrive at things through intention. And that's really the goal. Like when people say, I wish I could learn how to do that, what they honestly truly mean, in what I have personally found to be true in my life, what they mean most of the time is, I wish I could do that with intention, right? Because like lots of us can make things by accident, right? Like stumble into something great. And yeah, you made that. You didn't fully comprehend how you made it, so you may not be able to replicate it, which becomes very frustrating. And a lot of people will make something that other people feel great, and then they feel that it needs to be that for them to be great, and they can't get back to that point, and it forces them to ultimately give up on these things because they don't feel that they were actually great. But it's far from the truth. Like we all have all of that stuff in it, in us. We just have to know how to get there is all. And some things are made to feel easier than others in life. But BlackBerry, that is a goniometer. So yeah, it's kind of like a vector scope. So it's showing mono right down the middle and left and right on either side. So it's showing you your correlation over here, your LUFS, your decibels, your goni, and then when you click over here, you've got an analyzer, which is just showing you the amplitude level of a range of different frequency slices. So it's just a good tool to see all this stuff all in one. It's called the multimeter inside of Logic. Kakashi says, I want to meet a composer who wrote a song by individually stacking sine waves. There are plenty of them. A lot of people have gone down the rabbit hole of additive synthesis. If you really want to see some amazing stuff, Anthony DiStefano makes, and has for a very long time, Absinthe has been around for over 20 years now. Brian Clevenger gave this to us over 20 years ago. It's hard to believe. But Anthony, who's out of New York, will go through the painstaking process. He used to do this much more several years ago than he does now, but he goes through the painstaking process of recreating whole like orchestral works, like famous orchestral works, through just something simple like a sine wave and the envelopes inside of Absinthe. And it turns out to be just this amazing, lovely thing to fall into. Like, to go down this rabbit hole with him is awesome because it teaches you so much about how all of these things can be controlled through something like synthesis, right? Just through envelopes and an oscillator. And it opens your eyes into like a lot of different things that you can do. It really helps you kind of unravel the mysteries of modulation when you're looking at something really big like that. Because eventually you're going to zoom in and you're going to start looking at individual little pieces. And when you do that, that's the light bulb moment. That's when you start to really fully understand all of the ins and outs of all of the levels of synthesis and modulation. You really do. Yeah, I'll show you right now, Andremia, what stacking sine waves might look like. And we could do this in a whole bunch of different tools nowadays. But each one of these yellow lines indicates the amplitude of a sine wave. And the blue lines down here indicates the phase position of each one of those sine waves. Now, what are these positions, like these integers? These are the individual harmonics. So when you're looking at this one, this is harmonic 1. This is a very, very low bass note. And quite literally, as you're going up, like here's harmonic 63. If we were to raise harmonic 63 or 62 or whatever over here, we're going to start getting this kind of bright, needle thin sound up top. And if we start to affect the phase position of those sounds, then that influences the overall shape of the waveform. We'll take a look at it here in a minute. Just like one note at a time and how that actually changes things. It's quite eye-opening. It really is. Hey, Suicidal Pimp, welcome in. We're just talking. It's kind of a mishmash day. Yeah, I do like those videos too, Blackberry, for sure. Discord illiterate. If you're looking for the Uncle Chrome video, it's in the public feedback channel, if I remember correctly. So to the Discord, public feedback, and then it's right here. This is Uncle Chrome. We should listen to this. Roku's here. Hey, dude, how are you? It's been a minute. How have you been? He says, damn it, OhmLab, I thought you would keep this secret. Now my whole compositional secrets are leaked. It's all about the sine waves. But I told you once you go sine, you can never go square. It's true. It's true. But the lucky thing for the rest of us is that you can easily make a square wave out of just sine waves. So. All right, let's see where we were with the sound, and then we'll get into some additive really quick for you. Oh, right, I just bounced it. So let's open up a new sound, and let's open up, what do I have for my oscilloscope tools here? Oh yeah, I've got isotope. Let me find it really quick. There's a lot of stuff here. Man, Logic really needs a search. I don't see it. Let me, oh, maybe it's an Insight. Maybe that's right. Maybe it's an Insight. Insight? Oh, Insight Pro, probably. Okay, so I want to look at spectrogram, sound field. Nope, this is not it. Yeah, I agree. Is harmonics and chorus the same? No. No. Harmonics are simply frequencies above the fundamental. Somewhat illogical, yes. Chorus is actually like a delay. Okay, so let's see here. Is it Hoffa? I know I have a decent oscilloscope here. All right, well, I'm going to show you with an EQ for the time being, and I'm going to let my mind chew on where the oscilloscope might be while we're doing this. All right, so we'll take a look at Absinthe first, I guess. All right, so the way that this works is we'll just load up a sine wave in here, and then we're going to go into our wave. So our, oh, I guess I need to make a new. Okay, so I am in our waveform editor here, and a sine wave. And what we're going to do here is show you as best we can in a couple of different tools how these sounds scale out. Okay, so I'm going to trigger a sine wave. It's just this perfect thing. If I switch this away from mono into stereo and go back over here, as we start to move this sound around, you'll start to see our the shape change inside of the goniometer, and you'll start to see more frequencies being distributed above the fundamental, not below. So let's go to harmonic 10. This is harmonic 10. I'm going to slowly add this. Oops. I should go into the single so I don't do that again. So now you can see that there's this other fundamental, or this other frequency that we're bringing up in tandem with our fundamental, and it is 10 harmonic steps up. Let's go 3, 4. So this is 3 up from the root. So this is harmonic number 4. Okay, so with just these 3 harmonics here, we're going to start playing with the phase and see what happens. A pipe organ is the first additive synthesis instrument because it's allowing you to layer all of these individual tones together Ooh, Paul is saying the Chebyshev oscillator plays a fundamental plus its 9 harmonics. Nice. Nice. Well, there you go. BlackBerry breaks down the difference quite succinctly between the harmonics and chorus. And yeah, harmonics are considered pure waves. Then they just kind of start to get blurred a bit when you start to play with the position of each one. If we were to take a look at this in just a slightly more robust tool, let's go into Alchemy instead. Alchemy allows you to do the same kind of work. We're just going to initialize this preset. And we're going to do a sine here. And we will go into our additive engine here. And edit, additive. Okay, so here is our view for additive synthesis inside of Alchemy. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Sine, thank you. Now, get back in here. Additive. There we go. Okay, so here we are looking at the same exact thing. The really interesting thing about Alchemy, though, is that you can affect things other than just phase and volume, like tuning. And pan position. And then phase. And you see that our waveform is very quickly moving away from simple and more towards complex. But anyway, if you keep doing this, you can really arrive at any sound, which is really quite amazing. Inharmonics are tonal waves that are not pure waves. Yeah, or things that are not in a direct harmonic relationship, non-integer values, right? If you think of it this way, an integer is a whole number, but not all frequency positions are integers, obviously, because this is a fluid spectrum. Cody, yeah. Yeah, sine, yes. Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it, Roku. Yeah. These are fun tangents that we get into here, aren't they? And then you also have even and odd ordered harmonics. Okay, so this is a pretty fun way to play with stuff inside of this tool as well. So if we clear all of this stuff. All right, so this has all been cleared. And now I can go into, like, let's just adjust the evens. And we'll keep a normal shape on all these, but as I bring up something, it's going to bring up all of those fundamentals together as we start stacking them. right? Now this is going to be much brighter than it once was. Our fundamental is the quietest down here. If we were to do the odds as a comparison, let's bring in fifths. Oh, I guess I have to have something added first. Oh. Drag just the octaves up. Yeah, it's just crazy just how quickly you get away from like your typical synthwave sound, right? And then once you start messing with your phase, I've never even tried messing with the tuning across the entire spectrum all at once. You know what'd be so cool is if you could wet dry some of these changes. I wonder if that's in the works at some point. Wouldn't that be neat if you could kind of blend in within one oscillator instead of having, yeah, just complete output. Yeah, and that's how you ring modulate, right? Exactly. Can you do that with parallel processing? Well, what you're talking about here is the generation of sound, not the processing of sound. So you wouldn't be sending a sound through this per se, but you are able to layer within these tools. Like if you were to open up a sample or start loading up and playing with another oscillator in Alchemy or Absinthe or something like that, you could do that. Otherwise, yeah, what Roku is saying, the ring mod thing, and also as he points out, if you understand this, you don't need parallel processing because you can quite literally arrive at any sound. So it becomes this kind of tedious, meticulous thing to get to the exact perfect spot for certain types of sounds. But that said, it's going to give you an incredibly clear and well-defined version of this sound. Just like when you're working with physical modeling synthesis, you're going to end up with sounds that scale across octaves incredibly well. All of this stuff is very mathematically pure, if you will. So for these things to what's the right way to say this? These sounds will stand up straight in your mix. Yes. I think of it as being a chef, a normal chef will find ingredients. In this case, you're doing GMOs. Right, yeah. It's true, though. It does give you a very firm grasp upon control on a very granular level for your synthesis stuff. Faux show. All right. We were up here. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. That's dope. We might need to extend this. Where is this? Yeah, I think I want maybe 32 bars of this, maybe? Is that too much? Is that overkill? I don't think so. All right, let's go ahead and print that. Um, cool. So there's 32 bars of awesomeness there. Let's just listen to that really quick. I want to hear how this changes in the middle of it. Oh, and it kind of actually wraps up after that 16 bar mark, actually. It's probably really quiet for you guys, but this is gorgeous. There's some chaos for you in that waveform. You know what my mind is still grinding on in the background right now? Where the hell is that oscilloscope? I thought it was an Insight, and now I'm obviously completely unsure. Yes, Kakashi, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that's just exactly it. It's like you can take, um, say you've got like a drone. We'll start with something really, really simple, right? Like a slow and steady tone that's just like sustained, right? You can quite literally like hunt and peck until you find the exact pitch, like embellishment that you're looking to add, right? And then once you find it, now how do you fit that frequency into play, right? Because if you add it just with no adjustment or change to the phase position, it's going to come in sounding like a really sharp sine wave, right? So then it's a matter of like fitting it into this puzzle. But yeah, you're right. Like you can become quite intentional. Yeah, and BlackBerry is right. You know, I have this kind of series of sayings that I go through in my mind as soon as I feel I start hitting a wall in regards to anything. One is one that I used to say, I don't even know how many times every single day in kitchens when I was a chef, and that was, it's always going to take a lot longer to bitch about it first than it will to just fix it, right? To just do it the right way. The other one is stop getting tricky. Stop getting tricky, right? Because if you get too tricky too early in the process, then it makes everything really hard. And not everything needs to be that difficult. Oftentimes, the solution is rather simple. But yeah, this is like right in line with that. And going old school will oftentimes yield far better results because these modern tools are a lot of shortcuts, and they're arriving at the outcomes through like stacking different processes, and those processes are not always very kind to things like clarity and definition. So. Oh, Kakashi, I think I pulled that waveform out of my drain the other day. Oh, hey, Kakashi, am I remembering this correctly? Is your name Nate? Reminds me of some of the OKI computer reactor ensemble. Yeah, yeah, totally. Mr. Bowen, welcome in. Happy Monday to you. Pretty chill day here. Hey, Javar's here. Welcome in, dude. Hey, I remembered, Nate. Do you prefer having screen or Twitch anonymity though, or do you prefer your name to be shared and recognized? Also, it's tricky to rock a rhyme. Yeah, it's tricky. Oh, hey, Paul, what the hell? What the fuck? I'm a sub, just got booted and had to watch a commercial to get back. Twitch failed. That's the second time that's happened to you this month, isn't it? Not only are you a sub, but you're a VIP here. You would think that, yeah, I don't even have ads turned on, which is the worst part of the whole situation with the Twitch ad fails lately. Oh, you're Voxman. Okay, your Voxman's on Discord. Yeah, I'll try and remember that. I'll try and just call you Nate in both places. The modern digital tools assume a mathematical average of an incredible number of variables when trying to perform a function, especially if it's a function that emulates the real world of analog sources. Boom, right there. That's it. Yeah, that is it. Which is a great convenience, and it really gets you most of the way there for the large majority of things, which is true about a lot of things in our technology advances, really. Paul, sadly, it might be true, right? He's saying I'm dog poop in Twitch's eyes because you've already paid. Like, they don't have to impress you anymore. They already got you. Oh, man. All right, where were we? Where were we? Oh, yeah, I just bounced that ridiculously long one. Let's get back to 16 bars for this next one. Actually, how many have I bounced? Because I don't need that many. I've already done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8. Actually, we're probably good on those. Let's do some risers or something, shall we? And then we'll come back and we'll process these atmospheres in a few really cool ways. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we'll put these all into a stack of some kind. And then we'll call this Atmos for now. And just mute that whole thing. Cool. Let's make something fun. Spade it's Crypto. Welcome in. How you doing? Happy Monday to you. All right. Riser. Let's do some kind of riser. Let's call it 8 bars. Yeah, let's call it 8 bars. And let's make this a hard stop. So we're going to actually back this up just a little bit, which means that at the end of our envelope, this is going to come crashing down to 0 again. Which means that we should probably put a little flux on it, make it a little more dramatic. And that we'll probably start from nothing on this first oscillator, so it can actually really sound like a hard stop there. And let's find a fun waveform to use here. Maybe just one of my really simple ones. What's this uprising sound like here? Okay, cool. So the way that I normally will do these is I will set these to something really quick, like a 2 bar. And I'll actually start it with some volume so I can actually hear it the entire time. And I kind of like the texture on this one. Cool. So let's just dial in this really quick. Get our unison up. Look at that waveform. Let's make this smooth. I wonder how far away this leap would be if we zeroed the phases. I wonder how much of the texture we'd lose on this one. Let's see. Let's add just like a really high-pitched kind of wail over the top of this thing and bring it way down. Maybe some animogue, something. Maybe a little modular saw. Okay, I like that. All right, let's get this into a filter really quick. And over here. Maybe something kind of harsh. Yeah, that seems about right. What is your favorite Moog clone, Roku? I would buy those numbers, BlackBerry. It gets you 80% there for the average user with 70% of the effort versus old school. Yeah, yeah. So samples are ruining the chance of my actual producer doing anything on stream? No. No, not at all. Not at all. Ben is here asking if I have time for feedback. Yeah, dude, we could do some feedback. I'm good. Cody says, typically I see a lot of the newer producers going straight for samples. Generally, I see a lot of the 6+ year producers that like to dabble in sound design from scratch. Yeah, I think you just kind of get to a point in your learning curve where you realize just how limited you are. And it's not because samples are limiting. Like let's get something straight here really quick, okay? Most of these synths that you're using are fancy samplers in a way, right? Because you're loading up a sample of a sound and it's playing back that sound and then you begin to manipulate it, right? And with the fancy tools that we have, you could put in a single cycle waveform sample, or you could put in a 30-second dialogue sample, right? Spoken word, or you could put in a cowbell, right? So that's, I mean, the lines were blurred a long time ago. But Cody, to your point, yeah, when you're building something yourself, it's not just that you feel you have more control over it. You know what it is, right? And you can eliminate a lot of the potential stumbling points before you even get there. You know what I mean? Like for instance, if you know that you want your sub to bypass all the effects in your synth, then you can just do that, right? And keep your sound really, really centered and rooted, right? And you can do that right from the beginning. And perhaps the problem that you were encountering with the sample that led you to that synth in the first place is that the sub was being processed or something, and it messed with it. So I mean, there's just so many things that you learn along the way that kind of steer you in that direction. That said, I know people that have been working in the business for 40 plus years that are just as quick to reach for a sample because they know how to manipulate it like a freaking ninja. You know what I mean? They can get to the sound that they want in seconds. And that's kind of the beauty of Audio Design Desk right now. Without all of the MIDI stuff, is that, or the synthesis stuff, is that one, there's speed. CPU load is way down. I mean, obviously, we're aiming for synthesis to be implemented in it fully, right? Because it's unstoppable. But there's a reason why like half of our industry is focused entirely on audio for a long time. Mm. Smaller ones getting timed out due to infringement. Huh. Well, I mean, if people are tossing up samples that aren't, yeah, so there's a few different things going on here. One, that means that musicians are claiming sounds that aren't theirs, right? And putting copyright flags on everyone else's work that contains those samples. So ultimately, it will be their downfall because the creator of those samples, their livelihood depends upon other people being able to use those samples. But people just need to get really creative with the samples that they use. I think that most of the time, it just the laws of the wild kind of maintain all of that for us. If we all hear a sound that we've heard a million times, we're not going to think that it's original. Hey, Synchro505, welcome in. I like your alien emoji. That's awesome. Spade Sky Pro. Wow, say that 5 times fast. I cannot. Never seen a sound design stream. Very interesting to watch, actually. It's like watching Bob Ross painting guides, but for audio. This is what we do here. People have called me the Bob Ross of sound design for a really, really, really long time. Hmm. I think it was Rubens. When asked by the Pope if he was a great artist, um, simply drew a perfect circle freehand, or so the legend goes. Hmm. Cody's saying, I find myself using samples much more these days. I have all these sample packs that I never use. Might as well try to make the most of them. Typically, if I don't have an idea, I'll start with samples to get the ball rolling until it evolves into an idea. Well, here's the thing is like when you look at these really awesome mind-bending sound design tools, right? Like let's take what Evo does as an example, right? Glitch machines. Everybody loves glitch machines, right? And this will go into the whole collective over there, not just glitch machines, but all of the kind of surrounding brands and products floating around out there. There's a reason why those tools ship with a whole bunch of really new and unique samples, right? The samples run the whole thing, right? Thank you, Trailer, for our gazelle. In my mind, I thank you every time. Nate, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate you, man. So here's the thing. You can have a really great resynthesis engine, right? A multi-processing engine, but without the right kind of sounds going into it, and by kind of sounds, I mean, this is all about expectations, right? Without the right kind of sounds going into it, you're not going to get the right kind of sounds coming out of it. You know what I mean? Like if you are drawn into the amazing sound of what you hear in the marketing for a Glitch Machines tool, and then you drag in your own samples and it's a bunch of like, I don't know, My Little Pony samples or something like that, you're not going to get the same kind of sonic output because the samples that they're running through there are insane, right? And they're using a whole bunch of really fun and complex reactor ensembles and stuff to make these wild, like constantly changing, really vicious kinds of sounds. And then those are being broken up in a bunch of different ways and processed by those tools. So samples are never going to be a problem. Like samples are not the problem. And samples have never been the problem. Samples are just simply audio. I feel like anytime we give a label to something, especially in this industry, immediately there's like half of the population that says, go, whatever it is that label was. And then the other half is like, oh, down with whatever that label was, right? Whether it's samples or compression or whatever, there's always just going to be these camps. So I say, if you've got sounds, use them and see what you can make out of them. And if you can make something different than me, then I think we're all doing great. Javar is saying, I'm late to the party today. Is this a stock wavetable or one Chris made? It's mine. Sitting in on this side is one called Uprising. The other one is actually a modular waveform out of Animoca. Cody Modi, the only samples I use outside of my DAW are OhmLabs. Boom. Hey, thank you, Andremia. Yep, your Bago chip sample creations are great. Oh, man. Brains. Yeah, exactly. F expansion strobe, right? Right? Hey, Liv is in the house. Cardio Party's here. Everybody give Cardio Party a follow. And everybody give Indremia a follow. And then after you're done giving those two a follow, hey, where's the shout out for cardio? That's not fair. All right, let's try that again. There it is. I must be doing them too fast. Got one coming for Javar. You know, we're doing our community right when we all look at our dashboard at the end of each month and we all see each other's channels on there as where everyone's coming from. Andremia says, I see beat creators making millions. I create my own sounds, not millions. So yeah, you know, I'd be cautious about believing that all those guys are making millions. Hey, Subvids is here. What's up, Zach? What you doing for Christmas? Oh, that's a good question. Taking a couple of days off. Going to just play with the kiddo, I think, more than anything else. Christmas is right before his birthday. His birthday's a month later. So we're making Christmas all about like science and birthday all about music. He's really down the rabbit hole right now. Kid's gonna be smarter than all of us combined, I think. Roku says Strobe is actually physically modeled per component versus other brands who emulate a single chain. Each model in Strobe is actually modeled, and it can do things that other synths can't. Hey, Liv, walked in on a great conversation, right? How's your weekend? BlackBerry says a lot of digital effects such as reverbs, delays are also samplers. Exactly. It takes the original and manipulates it with variable preset. Analog effects accomplish the same thing, but by different mechanically based means. Yeah, and I think that the convolution reverb, the sampler reverb, is amazing. I've been in love with it ever since it first like was introduced, and I think that the same can be said about some of my most favorite types of processing, like granular, right? Like we've got to have audio. You see me bounce stuff to audio almost immediately, constantly, and there's a reason for that. And if we were to call those audio clips samples, would your thoughts about them change? I mean, that's what they are. I don't know. I think that most people here are probably all right with the samples. They just fall into the trap of labels, you know, and you get concerned about like, am I still good if I'm using samples? And the answer is yes. Eric says, yeah, OhmLab, I thought you were going to wear a Bob Ross wig. I hope I didn't miss that. I still haven't put the Bob Ross wig on. For those not in the loop, people have been calling me Bob Ross of sound and music for many, many years. And there's been this growing contingency over the past several years trying to actually like change my branding and everything to Mod Ross. Like just, just go all in. Just wear some plaid, put on the big fro, lean into it. Soothing voice, mind-blowing knowledge, bombs, dad jokes. Must be an OhmLab stream. Your monthly challenges are a perfect example of why samples are not the problem. Everyone does their own unique thing despite drawing from the same pool of samples. That is it. You know, it's like my time as a chef in the hospitality industry, it was full of black box challenges and stuff like that because people are constantly trying to rank chefs like in the upper tiers, right? And you get caught up in it. I was always very, very, very good at the black box challenges. And it was because I had this very old school mindset. Just a little analogy here, going back to this conversation about like, how do you get ultimate control over your sounds and like additive synthesis and that kind of stuff, where you're stacking individual sounds. The reason why I was ranked so highly as a chef and did so well is because I would go to the extent of, okay, I'm going to make a rice blend for this challenge or for this like really high level event. And I want like 14 different grains in it. You know what I would do? I would cook them all individually and then mix them all up at the end. So each individual grain was cooked perfectly, right? That is the equivalent of working in additive synthesis, right? Making sure that each individual component of one sound is like ultimately managed, if you will. Paul says, I use OhmLab samples in most of my works. That's amazing. Speaking of samples and infringement, just realized that Shaggy's melody was taken from the artist named Juice. Has me messed up for a week now. Source sounds. Saffron says, I can make most of the Ohm samples, especially from the lessons we did. Yeah, so Saffron has had a ton of lessons from me. And he's done it the right way. Here's a smart guy for you. He says, don't like just answer this question. Show me how the sounds in this one specific pack were made, which is like a really popular way of going about learning this kind of stuff, right? Is like take a look at one sound pack at a time and talk about the overarching concepts that are on display there instead of how did you make that sound? You know what I mean? That's good. So now this guy is full of all of these ideas. Shout out the gazelle, right, Jamar? Liv, there's a lot of love. I know there's a lot of bullshit out there right now, but there's a lot of love too. Turns out that all melodies covered by Frank Zappa at one point or another, sometimes only for one bar, and maybe it could be argued then that most music has sampled Zappa at some point. Oh man. Hey Ben, are you still here? I think I finally. Oh well, I thought I had finally caught up with chat. Yeah, let's do this. You still here? Let's do a little feedback for you. Put it on, do it what? Oh, the wig. No, I do not have the wig here. Sorry. No, I do not have a wig. No fro wig. At some point, someone got me one, but I honestly don't know where it went. It's been years. We're probably like a decade plus at this point. It might be in a box in the garage. We've gone through a few moves since then. I got to get a new wig. Buy $1,000 course to teach you how to not be poor, right? Oh crap. All right, dad joke alert from Subvids. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles. That's a good one. Oh my goodness. That's a good one. Zach, are you a dad? Blackberry says if I dressed like Bob Ross, I would look like Rob Tyner from the MC5 or Leslie West from The Mountain. That's awesome. Oh, that's hilarious. Boom. Roku. Always. You don't need samples, instruments, computers. All you need is an idea, a dream, a fleeting moment of inspiration, and then to act upon it. Many people have lost why they exist in the universe. Those who do know, even subconsciously, they create art. Man, Roku. Man, you know what? I love you, man. Big hearts. All right, we're going to listen to see what Ben is working on today. Is this one called Low Battery? That's awesome. Low battery alert. Then we're going to get back to, I think we were about to make some risers, I think. Can't scan for viruses. Wow, we have gotten to that point now. That's amazing. "2022 is going to be so interesting." Heidi's back. I'm going to needle drop just a little bit, Ben. Oh, man, we missed something. There's the mouth. Yum indeed. Quick needle drop again. This thing is epically long. Oh, maybe. I'm a little confused by this player. It's telling me that it's not actually moving, but I do hear audio periodically. I think I broke it by needle dropping. Let's try reloading this thing. There we go. You know, honestly, Ben, I don't have any gripes with this one. I think that this is a really, really solid track. This is different than what you're normally doing. Like this is album material, and it's huge. It's a really long piece. These big pad intros of yours lately, they're really good. I think you might be falling into a new sound. Like you've still got your core kind of sound still, but you're moving in this other direction, and I really like it. I really, really like it. It gives so much more dynamic flux to your entire production in each one. This is really good. Did all of this start because of the Hans Zimmer contest that you did recently? One thing that I did notice is that on those ARPs, if you had some sort of, feedback delay, pitched reverb kind of tool, like a Valhalla Shimmer or sine waves luminance or something like that, like a pitch shifting reverb, I think it would add a really nice atmospheric sheen to the entire thing. Just keep it really, really simple and minimal. And I think it would feel really, really good. I also think that 221, this pad that's playing the counter, I think that it could have a simple delay on it occasionally, and it would kind of help marry that sound to the mix just a little bit more. Some really cool syncopation play in this. Yeah, I'm still adjusting my mind to the fact that it's not just like dance floor heroes that you're making at this point. Kakashi, we could do another one. I'm not going to turn this into a big feedback stream, just because I want to bounce a few of these sounds out. Maybe we should actually get started on processing some of those Atmos. Yeah, Liv, right? When the syncopation starts? Yeah, absolutely. Subvids, right? You want the big snare coming in for some reason, probably because he's conditioned us to get the big snare eventually. I like this. I like the tension. I like the growing sense of when is it going to hit and it not hitting in the way that we would expect it to. I like that this is more of a sit down and appreciate kind of thing than it is throw your hands in the air and throw your bodies around kind of thing. The C word, what did you say? Oh, the others that were in the queue are actually from the other day on Friday. We did not get a chance to get to all of the tracks that were in the queue. We left off with Zemertz here. But yeah, let's give this one a quick listen. It's only a minute long. And then we'll go start bouncing some stuff here. Ben, thank you. Dude, I'm serious, man. I like this direction that you're going in. I feel like you are finding your real kind of signature approach to all of this. And you've found a really good way to incorporate the really super tight sound design that you've worked so hard to dial in over the past several years too. So, yeah, big ups, homie, big ups. You've both come a long way since you were in school, and at the same time, like can see all of this coming a mile away. You know what I mean? It feels good. It feels good. So big ups, dude. All right, this one is from Nate, aka Voxman's here on Discord and Kakashi on stream. Dude, this sounds like an intro. Like I feel like right there where it cuts off is where like the double time kicks in and there's like this kick-ass song. This sounds like if Anthrax was around producing today, like that this is something that they might kick off an album with or something. It's got a cool old school kind of appeal to it. Or yeah, Tool, right, Roku. Rhymes with grunt. Heidi, I didn't see it anywhere. I'm assuming that Twitch censored you. Okay, let's go through this sound. These sounds here really quick. Okay, so I want more from the drums. And I can't remember if this was your track the last time or not, but multi compression on the drums for this type of music is oftentimes really, really good, because it's going to allow you to like tighten them and give them power in the exact areas that you want to. And when you're dealing with, I mean, even if you're just kind of hinting at this type of guitar play, I feel like the drums really need to be there. Because they drive so much of the energy of it all, right? I feel like without it, it's all mood and no energy or impact. So there's one. You might want to take a look at the EQ settings on your delay and your reverb channels just to make sure that you're not allowing too much low frequency content out. It'd be good to probably wrangle that in, like not let anything maybe under 400 hertz through on the guitar or something like that. So that way those lower notes are really ringing through clearly the first time through. You don't want the delay signal to obfuscate the original signal. And you might want to play also with having a simple reverb after the delay on that guitar, so the decay feels just a little bit more elongated. I think it would really add to this feeling of like this growing like core of energy. These whispers are great. Same thing though, make sure that you're not letting too many of the lowest frequencies through. If we're listening to this very, very carefully, you can hear that there are frequencies that are kind of tickling our ears right about here in the stereo field, which means they've been pushed out pretty far. What we don't want is to feel them like pushing on us, right? Because there's too much low energy there. And when you're feeling that, it's just indicative that there are other things being affected in the mix, right? When you can feel that kind of pressure pushing back on these outer reaches. So you'll just get a better overall recording if you can kind of quell some of those. The guitar's a little I don't think grating is the right word, but it doesn't have I think maybe just a little bit off the top would be good. Is this your scream, by the way? Rain! Real alien space bats is in the house. Kakashi, that's exactly, I'm reading your comment about, I'm just not sure how to follow up with it. The climax is so much that I feel like anything after it is going to be a letdown. That's why I think it feels like a segue to me. It feels like something that isn't supposed to have an exact continuation from it. And I think also why I feel like some really hard, heavy pounding drums as the intro part of the next track. like almost starting out with some kind of drum solo, almost like that kind of a thing. Yeah, but I definitely, I definitely want more from the drums in this one. I want them to be big, and it's not because I'm a drummer. It's like it's more just the feel. Like I feel like there's a missing impact there. But I think that's part of what's missing. And like I always say, like that will almost invariably lead to more inspiration. Like once you get the sound hitting just right, especially with drums, it gives you that energy and it carries into this thing. And when that's lacking, it's hard to imagine what it's supposed to be carrying into. You know what I mean? But your mind's ear will kind of take over when you hit those sweet spots. Those sticks, when that little cross stick moment happens here, right here, those cross like that should be pretty prominent. I think I think you could use that as maybe like a benchmark in regards to where your drums are, how close they are to the power that you need. Nate says that feedback was same on last track too. I'll have to take a look at that since it seems to be recurring on my aux channels. Cool, cool. Yeah. Yeah, and that's everyone. That's not just a you thing. That's an everyone thing. It takes a little bit to get into the habit of EQing your reverb constantly. There's this old joke in the OhmLab community about how there's two kinds of people. There's people that EQ their reverb channels, and then there's savages. And there's a reason. Like it impacts everything. It impacts everything, and it takes away so much power in a mix. Ooh, whoa, Roku calling you out, wussy. He says to the chugging guitar, not to you, the chugging guitar. Do all your own vocals. That's nice, nice, nice. It's a great yell. It's a great voice. Blackberry, have a good one, dude. If we don't catch you on Wednesday during our big watch party, have a great holiday if you're celebrating. And we'll see you on the other side. I will say, Nate, that with that voice of yours, I can think of several different people in the community that might want to collab with you. Ben just whispered, Liv, is there a collab happening? I missed this in the chat. I don't see. That would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. And you never go full savage. That's right. What's happening on Wednesday? We're going to do a watch party. Remember last year when we watched Santa Conquers the Martians? Santa Claus conquers the Martians. Well, we made a sample pack out of that. All subscribers get a free sound pack every single month. You can grab your free sound pack on the Discord. This month, it is that sound pack from 1 year ago exactly. We had a watch party for Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, and we got 250 dialogue samples out of that. And we're going to have another watch party on Wednesday this week, and we're going to have some fun, as long as Heidi can be here. And we'll chop samples out of it live, just like we did last time. As we're watching it, I'll be laying markers the entire time. And then as soon as it's over, we will quickly start chopping on those markers. And cleaning up all the dialogue. It should be a good time. All right, you know what? I think I'm going to grab a little more coffee, and then we're going to bounce a bunch of stuff. I feel like processing the stuff that we made earlier. Yeah, we need a Heidi cam for Wednesday, huh? It could be even more MST3K than it was last time, is what you're thinking. Oh, that's awesome. All right, I'm going to put on a little hold music really quick, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to go grab coffee. It'll just be a few seconds here. Let's see what kind of crackle Streamlabs has for us today. Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. I hope that the feedback actually resonated with you. All right, cool. I'll be right back. Gotta get the bean juice. Gotta survive. Told you it'd be quick. And here I am. Let's do some bouncing. You know what? As unuser-friendly as InDesign is, you make really cool stuff in Dremio. GIMP is life, says Roku. Random color map, right? Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's very inviting to look at or not, really. Booted in commercial number 2. What the? I need to write Twitch a strongly worded message of some kind, I think. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, I was making a sound. Let's make that sound. This actually sounds so good, we might use it as a short and a long transition. And we might not even process this further. Let's just put a little OTT on it and see what it sounds like here. Okay, well, once we add that, we got to take all of this stuff down for the reels. Okay, that should not be happening. Why is that happening? All right, now we've got maybe just a touch of delay on here. And let's put that after the compression this time. And let's maybe do 16ths and 8ths. Swing this just a bit. Ping pong. Just constrain these frequencies here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I don't think I want any reverb on this. All right, so maybe we'll do one short one like this and one long one here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bounce this as a 2-bar in a variety of ways, and then we'll bounce it as an 8-bar, I think. And we'll print this one, riser 2-bar 1. And, well, if I can't even spell riser, apparently. All right, let's see here. And we're going to bump this up an octave or two. That one's kind of cool too. Let's go that. Riser 2-bar 2. All right, now let's make this a 4 or let's do an 8-bar. And we'll just find a couple of different positions for these that we like. First, let's drop this back down. Okay, I kind of like that. Ooh, super chunky. I like this one. All right, let's print this. Riser 8-bar 1. And before we move up in timbre, let's just play with our positions here. Yeah, I like that one too. All right, let's start moving our way up the octave range here. Cool. Winner, winner. Let's print that. All right, let's get a little funky. Let's add a little movement to this thing. Or maybe some pitch first. And actually, let's fix this really quick. Let's get, let's make this a square really quick. And we're going to pull this down just a bit. And let's set this to 16th notes. All right, let's bring this back. I wish I could tell. Let me just put a tuner on here really quick. All right, that's the one. Let's just take this whole thing down one. See if we can get really textured. Let's print it. And then let's go down one more octave here and up a few over here. We're gonna just play with a little bit of comb resonance here really quick and see what we can get out of this. Bear with me while I search and hunt and peck. Maybe a little distortion comb. All right, let's bounce that. All right, cool. So we've got these 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we had like 8 at most. Let's see what we can bounce in the next half hour for these bad boys. There will be consequences, Twitch. Man, don't mess with Paul. How you could not use Photoshop will be a mystery to us all. I use Pixelmator for the most part. I am not familiar with the Gimmick plugin for GIMP. Oh no, when you drop an M&M and you can't reach it. Oh, that's terrible. That's a terrible moment in life right there. Because I like breaking things. Oh, that's awesome. Make things that go bump in the dark. Right, Andy? Oh. Hey, as we're all talking about graphics and stuff here, I am on the prowl for a graphics designer, someone that can do not just artwork for audio releases, but also somewhat corporate, some social media stuff. By corporate, I just mean like general marketing materials, pamphlets, one sheets, pitch decks, that type of thing. If you guys know of anyone looking, you just let me know. THX wish they had this sample. Shepherd tone so delicious when doubled and retriggered. Oh yeah, dude. Javar, this is the interpreted audio, right? And it sounds like R2D2 or something, right? Man. Pixelmator. Where do you get your images for your sound packs and stuff? So oftentimes I will start with a simple search on a website like Pexels or Unsplash or Pixabay or something like that and get my hands on a royalty-free image. And then I will often, that's kind of like either aiming in the right direction or like leaning in the right direction toward like the right kind of texture or main kind of theme or whatever, and then I end up layering a couple of layers in there and play with color filters, that type of thing. It's actually pretty a pretty simple process because I'm not a graphic designer. I've just done it for so many years that I have these little hacks that I do, and that's it. Pixelmator. Nope, those are really, yeah. Yeah, for the lonely pixels. Man, even pixels get lonely. Do I get packs of graphics or singles? I just usually just do one off. And then what you see is like me going through iterations of things. I do the same thing for the audio design desk stuff. I'm sure there's stuff. Yeah, so here's a bunch of iterations. Like, so this is what my process looks like if you guys want full disclosure into things. So on Friday, we released our most recent pack. It was called Rhythmics. It's a new rhythmic library, right? You guys heard me make some of those sounds. And I went through a whole bunch of different comps. I started with something like this, which was pretty lame. I tried a couple of other themes. This is actually the one that we ended up going with. Tried this one. I try to keep my stuff fairly abstract, kind of focused on texture and like just like the basic theme of something. And the reason is because I like to color them for the different volume releases. So right now I'm in the process of trying to figure out a way to kind of color codify the different types of volume-based content that we'll be putting out over the years, so users can then browse and download as they need instead of as we cram down throats. So what did it end up as? I think this is what it ended up as. Yeah, this was the final here. But this will end up getting run through a whole bunch of various color filters that I will build for the different types of source audio used in each one. But that's kind of my process. So I don't buy or download bundles of images. I just kind of iterate myself to create the continuity over all the volumes. I just Googled pixel baiter. It's actually pixel mater, as in like toe mater. Yeah. Let's see if we can find it for you really quick. I've been using it since version 1 when it was just a little free app that barely did anything. It allowed you to combine layers of images and not a bunch more, but it was very, like you could tell that they were going to take on Photoshop eventually, but they were very, very slim in the beginning. I don't know. It's an easy program to get your mind around. It's good stuff. Their code name for 2.3 version is Abracadabra. That's awesome. I like that. All right, let's process some of these sounds. Let's do a little stack on these. And we'll just call these risers for right now. And mute this. Let's do a couple of Atmos first, and then we'll jump back and forth between the risers and the Atmos. Let's start with this first one. So usually I begin with my fade curves. So we'll just do that in tandem here. 5 on the front, 5 on the back, just to avoid the pops and clicks. Hold on a second. All right, let's try that again. Let's put a little loop region around this. I really dig this sound. All right, let's clean this up. We're gonna put let's put an EQ on the stack itself, and we'll just cut all of the subs around the same exact spot. And we actually don't even need these sub frequencies down here. So let's be a little more vicious. And let's also just take a little scoop around 500 proactively, so these fit in projects a little bit better, and we'll cap our high frequencies around 17. Okay, so our peak LUF mark is going to probably be around neg 26 is what it's looking like. Ish, 27, okay, good guess. So now let's start doing maybe a little portal on this. Send this out into space just a little bit more. And let's do a stretch and smear, maybe something a little trembly to start. And this is just so, I mean, the sound is fine on its own, but it's better if it has variety and motion, right? Okay, this thing's now weighing in at neg 30 lufs. Let's spice it up and just make that extra little air sizzle a little bit. All right, and let's put this before the portal. Yeah, a little extra sizzle. All right, so that takes our lufs even further down. So now we're just going to spice this back up. A little overdrive, make it shine. That's tasty. All right, so we'll bounce this. This will be Greeny Atmos 1 for right now. Oh, I haven't saved this. What is today? The 20th. Man, talk about without a net, huh? This is 12, 20, 21, and this is ADD Dark Arts. Atmos. Risers. Put a little ADD tag on here. I'll put this over here. This is a stream. And we'll go back in there really quick and tag that. Cool. All right, so now we'll bounce this, and this will be a Greeny Atmos 1. Worry about the naming convention later. Let's do one more. Oops. One more from this batch. We're just going to go into thermal first, turn off these guys. We're going to get a little more aggressive. Rhythmic sound design. Selected driver not found. Oh man. This happened in the last stream. What is going on with compatibility between Stream Decks and Logic? That's what I would like to know. All right, we're going to save this. We're going to reopen that thing. That's really bothering me. I understand there are other reasons to quit Streamlabs, but I feel like quitting Streamlabs just for this. But before I do, I should go through and figure out which 3 of my plugins have fallen out of compatibility. Because it very could well be that. Minecraft porn star. All right, let's fix our audio output inside of Streamlabs really quick. See if we can get back to this. There we go. Logic has fallen out of compatibility. You know, that's entirely possible because I am behind. I actually do need to run a couple of fairly big updates this weekend. I mean, this break. But I am currently more than one whole rev. I'm on 2 or 10.5.1. I think it's 10. Did I just drop 10.7 or is it 10.6 something? I'm behind, by the way. So it very well could be that. Okay, and now we're going to bring this whole thing up again. And we're going to run it through. Oops, that's not what I want. I want that. All right, so instead of that overdrive, we are going to add, let's do Valhalla, shimmer. Octave up is fine. Let's keep this on the darker side. We'll go into dual mode. We'll go into a big stereo and give ourselves atmosphere size stuff here. Let's cut out the low frequencies. All right, so that's a really weird Atmos. I like it. Yep. All right, so this will just be 2 for now. And let's go do one of these risers really quick. That one's going to sound pretty funky in a mix. Risers. Let's do one of these short ones first. All right, so same thing. We're going to put an EQ on the stack so we don't have to install a bunch of EQs. And we don't need a bunch of sub on this. We really don't. Because we're going to have sub bass present in most of these mixes already. So I might even shave off just a smidge more there. A little off the top. Tiny little bit out of the middle. Just to help it cooperate a bit. All right, so this is actually pretty spicy already. So let's start with a little portal. These things will not really sound like what they sounded like originally. Let's do, maybe we can kind of juxtapose something really ambient and something really gritty. If. Let's see. We need to have a stream where we do nothing but actually make presets from scratch within Portal and Thermal so you guys can see how all that works. There's minimal. All right, so let's add a little saturation to this. A little wavefold. And a little noise. Let's do ghost. All right, and a little feedback. Let's do it dotted. Let's do eighths. Cut out the bass. All right, let's get a filter in here. We'll go with one of the morphine ones. Josh, what's up, dude? We were thinking about just rating you in a little bit. Or someone else that was on. Welcome. With a party 104, you guys, how are you? Happy Xmas week if you guys are celebrating it. We are actually just wrapping up a fun, really low-key, mostly sound design session today. We did a bit of talk about... what did we talk about today? How people actually learn. Secrets of synthesis, that type of thing. How was your chat or your stream over there? You have a good one? All right, what's Nate saying here? Always wondered what invasive species sounded like, right? Yeah. Go all sound hack on it. Let's do that then. Let's do that. Not quite yet. We're not quite wrapping up yet, but it's close. We will take this whole cruise somewhere else here in a minute and keep the party going. That's what Twitch is all about. Let's carry the love. All right, so we're about to bounce this sound. We're working on a little riser here. I'm actually going to push my region out so we can actually hear how this thing ends. And we're just going to build in a little bit of filter action here. Spread these voices. Give it a little peak so we have something to grab onto. That one's all right. What are our LUFs here? Neg 20, so it's a little hot. Let's just bring this down a little bit. And let's just wrap this and bounce it. So this is going to be riser 2 bar. And call this version 1 here. I appreciate all the follows, people. Let's dip into this second one here. All right. So for this one, let's do the same. We'll start with a little granular delay and spread this thing out into space just a little bit. Okay, now let's make this thing sizzle a bit. Get a little more feedback. No. Yeah, we could do a little comb. Let's bring this down a little bit. And let's give it a little something to carry it over. Since this is a riser, we probably want this thing on this track to kind of breathe a little bit more as it resolves. Back to the shimmer. Let's go down though this time. So we'll do a shift down 1 octave, a little bit of feedback. Cut our lows and highs. Okay, let's put this into a dark mode. dual playback, and a big space. And let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's just wrap that and let's just give these all an in and an out really quick. Cool. Let's bounce this. It's going to be riser 2 bar number 2. Oh. Yeah, Josh is right, or Javar is right. For those curious, this stream is a bit more about the technical side of where music comes from. Sound predominantly, but we do talk a lot about like the business side, like how to actually survive and how to get your sounds out there and what is licensing all about and how do people actually freaking survive making music and sounds these days, and who actually has money to buy stuff, because it's certainly not Spotify keeping food on the table for most people these days. So it's a smorgasbord of things that we talk about here. And just a quick little breakdown of the like community perks here. Everyone who subscribes gets a free sound pack every month. You just link your Discord and your Twitch profiles, and you can unlock the subscriber rewards channel on the Discord. Each month you get a different sound pack. Whatever you're inspired to make with the sound pack, you come back and you submit whatever you've made, whatever it is, and you get another free sound pack just for playing. There are no gimmicks, no hitches. This is just what we do. It's just a big family of fun over here. And it's all about learning and growing and making some really cool shit along the way. So what else can I tell you in a couple of minutes? I'm also heavily steeped in the next generation DAW that will be blowing minds for many, many years to come. It's called Audio Design Desk. We have figured out a way to develop some responsible AI and help it assist you in a variety of ways, but not actually writing the music. More just about being aware of the content that's in your DAW and what you might be wanting to do with it. It's a bunch of voodoo freaking magic is what it is. So we talk a bit about that kind of stuff too, because I've always had my fingers in startups and building whatever's coming next. So you get a lot of that kind of stuff here too. And we've always got opportunities. Those looking for, you know, like composer or sound design internships or whatever. I'm actually looking for a graphic designer right now. So, you know, hit the Discord, start a conversation. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right, let's do another one of these. Not Skynet though. It is not the evil thing. This is the anti all of that. Like I have basically ditched thousands and thousands of followers on Facebook and whatnot to be over here with these small groups of lovely people, because I'm sick and tired of the like toxicity and the playing into the hands of the middlemen in our industry. It's crushed us for far too long. We have all of the tools that we need now. I'm not going to get on a soapbox, I swear. But between blockchain and building tools responsibly and putting the community in charge of everything, and then baking in all the tools that you need to be inspired, to create, quite literally bounce and distribute and license into other people's projects all within one tool, it's kind of game over for the middlemen. So we're on a freaking mission here. Democratize the hell out of stuff. All right, let's see what else. Oh, it's actually after what? I'm going to do one more Atmos. Let's do this grainy too here. So right now I'm making some atmospheres and some transition effects for the next library that we're releasing for the Audio Design Desk ecosystem. I've been calling it dark arts, but it's actually going to be a dark electronic thing. I think is what we're actually going to call it. But it will allow people to make original compositions and score scenes and films and television shows and whatnot in minutes and seconds instead of days and months. And I'm turning to these same plugins each time because I'm just kind of building in some continuity. Cool. Now let's find a little movement in there. Let's keep this thing very simple, slow, filtered. All right, let's put just a little bit of pumping into this. I'll just use a tremolo and zero out the phase. Bring this up to like maybe 16th notes. Pump like maybe half the mix. Now let's go maybe quarter notes on this. Maybe even longer. Half notes. Maybe even a bar. Let's try a bar. And now let's just cream that out. Go bright, dual, big, feedback, size. Yeah. That feels good. Make sure we're looped around this. Cool. So we're going to bounce this. And what do we got in here? This will be number 3. Yeah, Josh rated. Saf, you take care, homie. Inbox. I responded to you this morning, by the way. All right, let's knock another one of these out really quick. We'll make this one a little bit beefier than the last one. And let's go with just a simple embellishment first. That's juicy right there. Let's add a little shine and call this good. Let's borrow the circuitry of this bad boy here. So I'm actually controlling those top frequencies with this overdrive. So instead of putting an EQ on there and rolling off some of the highs, which would upset the phase of all of those crunchy little bits up there, I just kind of round it off a little bit, kind of dull it with this overdrive. All right, let's bounce this. Guess we're number 4 here. Let's do another one. Where do you guys want to go today? Because I've got a production meeting that I'll need to step into here in just a little bit, but let's keep the party going and take you guys somewhere fun. Oh, that's right. This one is a rhythmic. Yeah, a lot of Ableton users here. I've been trying not to force Audio Design Desk upon everyone during the streams. So we've been building it, but I'll tell you what, it's getting too good. When we come back after this break, the Christmas break this week, we'll be dipping into it in most streams for at least a little bit, I would assume. It's just getting so good, you guys. So good. More awards. Josh is saying, might need to ask OhmLab some questions. Somebody, as I'm someone who is self-taught to be good, to get some advice from someone who knows who they're talking about. Yeah. We have so many self-taught people here, and it's like, it's the way to fly, really, right? You keep your ideas, your sound intact. You're a curious little monkey, and when you get the chance to ask all the questions that have been bubbling inside of you, you know, the answers just kind of unlock what's next. It's better than subscribing to some specific way about, like, going about everything. Not a fan of cookie cutter production. Yeah, Cubase is still alive. You know, we actually even have a couple of digital performer users in the community still too. And Studio One. Yeah, Studio One has been growing in popularity for sure. For sure. We actually have a yet to be officially announced partnership with Studio One, but that'll be coming soon. There's a lot of really cool updates coming, you guys. I've been playing with the new MIDI triggers features for the past couple of days. It's just getting so flexible and so good. It is so good. We should go back and count how many awards we won this year and have some kind of like drinking contest made out of it or something. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I tend to be pretty agnostic. I've worked in Logic for so, well, I worked for Apple for a long time, full disclosure. So like Logic has been my tool of choice for a long time. I did a lot of the original like training for it and stuff, and user groups and stuff. So it's like it's heavily ingrained in me, in my DNA at this point. But that said, there are simply things inside of Audio Design Desk that it simply cannot be done in any other tool in the world. But luckily, they sync in real time, so I don't have to make a hard decision. I can just continue to use them both. It's pretty great. Hey, if 3 was a number, what's up, dude? We're still here. We're gonna go raid someone. Who are we gonna go visit? Just really quick before we do that, My CB, Margaret, Merrill, Sonic Fusion, Major West, Jonah Park, Joshua Wu, Jay Phoenix, Kakashi, Spade Sky Spro, Mr. Bone, Nate the Sound Ninja, Lab West, Herman, 1975, Evil Barton 470, Alex Dementia, Synchro 505, Morantello, Shipwreck Paradise. Thank you all so much for the follows and the subs today. I appreciate all of you. Cardio is on. We are going to go say hi to Liv. We're going to go do that. See what Liv is even making right now. This is the time when I usually say stuff like, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you spending your time here. I know there's so many other Twitch channels to browse. Stay inspired and be here on Wednesday because we're going to have our annual holiday watch party. We're going to watch a movie together and we're going to chop a bunch of freaking new dialogue samples. And then y'all are going to get those at some point. So let's do that. You don't know what the movie is until we get to the day. So it's a secret, but it's potentially better than Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. We'll find out together on Wednesday. In the meantime, let's go say hi to Liv and see what they're up to. Peace out, y'all. Big love. Well, Twitch is stalling, so I guess I'm going to say big love one more time. And now we're gone. Peace out.
I had to bounce out a little early, but figured I would start up the stream one last time before Christmas. We're in the spirit. We got our maker's mark. I have a kitty on my lap, asleep, or at least he was asleep until I just woke him up just now. Oh, there he goes. For a moment, he was sitting just right here on this drum throne, just like watching. I was like, this is peak producer. I'd ask you how your stream was, but I was there for a lot of it. It was great, as always. By the way, I mean, if anybody in here isn't following OhmLab, I'd be surprised. But go follow OhmLab. Oh, I don't know if my shoutouts are working. I swear, I just was looking at my commands. They should be working. Well, come follow OhmLab. We're working on this kind of, I don't know. I'll play it for y'all. Actually, I'm in OBS now. I switched from Streamlabs after all the shit came out about them. But yes. Probably Stream Elements, actually, but whatever. It was a day-long process. It was a process. It was probably 4 or 5 hours of like figuring out how I mean, because like half my shit was like housed within Streamlabs, so Stream Elements is a great alternative though. I highly recommend it. It's great. See you, boo. Thanks for the raid. Merry Christmas.